Hi, it's Kip Bates here, and today I want to explain how Bitcoin transactions work, in particular looking at what spent and unspent transactions are and what inputs and outputs to a transaction are. And the analogy is that you've got to imagine that when you have 5 Bitcoins, say, what you actually have is a cup containing 500 million grains of sand. Each grain of sand represents a Satoshi, and the cup is standing upright holding the sand. And when you decide to send, say, 1 Bitcoin to a friend, what you are doing then is you are tipping the cup upside down so that all the sand pours out. And that means that your cup, which used to be an unspent transaction, is now a spent transaction. And there's a record on the blockchain at the point that your transaction takes place that says this cup is now upside down and empty. And then the second part of the transaction is that you specify that other new cups that were initially empty get placed underneath that flow of sand. So if you're transferring 1 Bitcoin, that's 100 million grains of sand. Your friend's cup gets put under part of the stream so it catches that 100 million. And now there's another 400 million grains of sand that are pouring down. So you create a new empty cup for yourself using your what is called a change address to catch the remainder. And now you have a new unspent transaction, which is a new cup containing 400 million grains of sand, except it won't actually contain 400 million because you have to leave a little bit over for the transaction fee. So your cup might not catch the 400 million grains of sand. You might specify that it's only going to catch 390 million grains of sand, leaving 10 million grains of sand spare. And when a miner mines the block, they then put a third cup to catch that final residue, and that is the transaction fee. So this one simple transaction of tipping up your initial cup full of sand, the sand is now caught in 3 different cups, and the unspent transaction, the initial full cup with the 500 million grains of sand, it now becomes a spent transaction. It was the input to the transaction, and the outputs are those 3 new cups, each containing a fraction of the original 500 million grains of sand. So it's not the simplest thing initially to get your head around, because it's not the intuitive way of handling balances, which is subtract a number from one balance and add that same number to another balance in a database, but that's the way that Nakamoto decided to implement it. And one side effect of this is that when Bitcoins are transferred from person to person, you can track the whole transaction flow. It's all recorded on the blockchain. And that is actually one of the reasons why Bitcoin isn't truly anonymous, because if you can work out who received some coins, you may be able to track back and find another address and link 2 people together, so you can mine for more information. But anyway, I hope this cups of sand analogy helps you understand transactions and transaction flow, and what spent and unspent transactions are, and what inputs and outputs to a transaction are too. I'll see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.